Got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
Welcome to MTG 3. These are 3 cards I like, and today we have a Rakdos theme of self-discarding. You know, discarding cards because you want to. And these are budget options that are amazing. Well, I find them amazing. You can tell me what you think in the comments below. So we start right now. The first card on this list is a great removal spell. It doesn't require exactly to discard as it costs, but discarding a card is part of its cost. And what card am I talking about? Talking about Bone Shards. Bone Shards cost 1 black. That's it, only 1 black. And as additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice a creature or discard a card. And that discard a card is what we're looking at. And what does this spell do? It destroys target creature or planeswalker.
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
Destroys target creature or planeswalker for 1 black mana, and you discard a card that you're going to reanimate. This card is nuts. Discard your Terastodon and reanimate it. You can discard your Verdurous Gearhawk and reanimate it. Your Primeval Titan, you'll get it back. Avengers Zendikar, duh, you're going to get it back. You're going to animate dead, any reanimating spell after discarding a card. This card is nuts. But this card is not just for the reanimator deck. I just love reanimation in my cube because black and red work with reanimating and spells matters themes in my cube, so you're going to get a lot of reanimation in my cube. But sometimes you just need to discard a land card just to get out of your hand because you don't need it, and removing that creature or planeswalker is totally worth the 1 mana. Which brings us to our next card on the list. The number 2 card on this list, we have a great discard outlet. To me, this is more of what red Merfolk Looter would do if it was a looter, but it's not. But to me, it's reminiscent to what a Merfolk Looter would do in red, and I cannot explain this card without getting too weird on it. This card is just nuts. And what card am I talking about? Venetia Lash Claw. Venetia Lash Claw costs a generic and a red. It's a 2/2 bear. It's a Venetia warrior. And it has tap, discard a card, and creatures, and I reiterate, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. This card is crazy good. I mean, think about this. You play your, I don't know, Ilharg the Razeboar, and you tap this creature to discard a card to give it haste. You're giving yourself a combo piece or a synergy piece, whatever kind of piece you want to call it. This card is good. But you also can cast your Atali Primal Storm, discard a card, give it haste, and get extra value. Even in a commander game, this card is good. To reiterate, I love this card. That's why it's on my MTG3 cards I like video. I like Venetia Lash Claw a lot. A lot. And I am not undermining the good cards out there. You have Fervor, Purphoros, Bronze Blooded, and Hammer of Purphoros that are good spells to give all your creatures haste. And there are other spells out there that give all your creatures haste. I like Venetia Lash Claw a lot because it helps the reanimation strategy. It helps with my spells matter strategy, especially when you have certain spells in the graveyard. This card is amazing to me. And that brings us to our last card. The last card on this list is a really solid include. I mean, it is a really solid include for the Rakdos Fast Creatures deck. You know, the decks that play the small creatures that move fast to ping out games? Well, this card is a perfect example of that. And what are we talking about? What card is it we are talking about? Rakdos Headliner. Rakdos Headliner costs a black and a red. It's a devil creature for 3/3 and has haste. Has Echo. Discard a card. And Echo, and I'll put it on screen here, but Echo basically says the upkeep after you play this card, you pay its Echo cost or sacrifice a creature. You're discarding a card for 2 mana 3/3. That card is great. I love it, and I cannot explain how amazing it is. You will have to play with it. Notice I didn't talk about commander decks these fit in very well, because these are more cube-centric cards. You're not going to play these cards in commander a lot, except maybe Bone Shards, because it's just a solid include. But Rakdos Headliner here, Rakdos Headliner is a solid card. I mean, it works in those fast decks, those fast small creature decks. You don't get that a lot in commander, but in cube you get that a ton. And in my cube, it works with the Spells Matters decks, it works with the reanimation decks, but it also works in like the Jund decks that worry about getting that beef on the ground and swinging in hard. Yes, I can go on to express how cool this card is. But it does fit in other decks, and it is versatile. To answer last week's question, what are you reanimating out of the graveyard? It is Griselbrand. Griselbrand all the way! Griselbrand. Yo, Griselbrand. Yeah, I know. I'm not cool. I'm trying to be cool, but it ain't working. The question this week is, what are you discarding to get out of your hand? Put your funny, creative, ridiculous comments in the comment section below. You guys are amazing. Thank you for making this channel what it is, and I will see you next week. Yes. Welcome to MTG3. 3 cards, Tortoise Lights. And we start right now.
Maybe someday we could become friends. There's still one more thing I must do before I go. Yes, and yes. And thank you guys so much.
We really appreciate, everything.
God, I love being a turtle!